continue to use the mitigation methods, namely masks, avoiding crowds and poorly ventilated spaces.
There are more and more organizations that point to a lab leak.
No, that's not so, Brett.
Did it come from a lab? Was it man-made?
There's every reason to believe that jumping of species from an animal reservoir occurred.
That's completely incorrect. Where you say we continue to support research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
A lot of what you're seeing as attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
Well, today, science was under oath in front of the House Coronavirus Committee. And frankly, it's been a long time coming. America now knows Fauci funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab. We trained Bat Lady. The sloppy lab leaked, and Fauci covered it up and shut the country down. Gain-of-function's a risky method used to help pharmaceutical companies come up with vaccines ahead of time. And we now know Fauci gets royalties from vaccines. We also now know, thanks to a whistleblower, Fauci's intelligence handlers were using the Wuhan lab as a window into Chinese bioweapons research. Fauci, under oath, denied it all.
Did the National Institute of Health fund the potentially dangerous enhanced potential pandemic pathogens gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
I would not characterize it as dangerous gain-of-function research.
Do you agree that there was a push to downplay the lab leak theory?
Not on my part.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
I think most of the country would find that amazing. I still got 11 seconds.
But look at the facts. I've kept an open mind throughout the entire process.
Not even the New York Times is buying Fauci's lies. Here's a headline just from this morning. Why the pandemic probably started in a lab. Now, if you said that 4 years ago, the Times would have called you a kook. We also now know Fauci's right-hand man, Dr. David Morenz, has been hiding the truth from congressional oversight, purposely misspelling words so emails couldn't be subpoenaed. Morenz even confessed that he and Fauci used personal email accounts to get around records requests. Fauci told Congress that's not true, and that Morenz guy, barely know him.
Let me state for the record that to the best of my knowledge, I have never conducted official business using my personal email. Dr. Morenz was not an advisor to me on institute policy or other substantive issues.
Remember how we also had to stand 6 feet apart for 2 years? Fauci admitted he made it up, and there wasn't any science behind it. But he didn't want to say anything because he didn't think it would be appropriate.
Once we realized that the virus was not spread by droplets and was aerosolized, did you feel an indication to go back to the CDC and said, let's base this on science. Let's get rid of this 6-foot rule. This 6-foot rule crippled businesses. It allowed students to stay at home and not learn. Americans suffered.
I've challenged the CDC multiple times.
Publicly on this regard?
It is not appropriate to be publicly challenging a sister organization.
Yeah. Fauci's junk science ruined millions of lives in order to force people to get vaccinated.
You believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it? I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination.
You want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological and they get vaccinated.
Fauci had a financial interest in force-feeding the vaccine. His scientists made almost $1 billion in royalties from pharmaceutical companies during the pandemic. And Fauci lied about how effective the vaccine was.
That, if you're vaccinated, you really don't need to worry about getting it in a way that's serious or transmitting it.
That is true. That is correct. It'll either protect you completely against infection. If you do get infected, the chances are that you're going to be without symptoms, and the chances are very likely that you'll not be able to transmit it to other people.
So Fauci got rich off deadly gain-of-function research, and they want to put Trump in prison for an NDA, which Congress has dozens of.
A few moments later.
So, Dr. Fauci, can you please share with us the nature of the threats you have received since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, there have been everything from harassments by emails, texts, letters of myself, my wife, my 3 daughters. There have been credible death threats leading to the arrests of 2 individuals, and credible death threats means someone who clearly was on their way to kill me. And it's required my having protective services essentially all the time. It is very troublesome to me. It is much more troublesome because they've involved my wife and my 3 daughters.
At these moments, how do you feel? Keep your mic on.
Terrible.
Do you continue to receive threats today?
Yes, I do. Every time someone gets up and says I'm responsible for the death of people throughout the world, the death threats go up.
It's unacceptable that you've been treated this way, especially after you've dedicated your life to science and research for the public interest. You deserve better.